I'm going to show you now how to wire a plug. This is pretty basic and most people do know how to do it, but there are some people that still don't know. So the first thing you need to do is undo that screw. That's the screw that holds the plug together. So once you've undone that, you should be able to pull it apart. That's the fuse, that's the live connection, that's the neutral, and that's the earth. It should actually say on which is which. If you look closer there will be a marking, and this bit here, this is the cord grip. So the first thing we need to do is take our cord and get an approximate length of how long it needs to be. Now the terminal furthest away is the earth terminal, so if we hold the wire up to the earth terminal like that, slightly just past it, we can see that we need to remove the insulation back to approximately there where my thumb is. So once we've got it somewhere near there, if we just take a sharp knife, what we're doing is just lightly scoring the outside of the cable. We don't want to cut through it, because then you've got a chance of damaging the inner cores, which we don't want to do. If you do nick the inner cores, you're going to have to start all over again. Once you've lightly nicked it, if you bend it, it will split where you've nicked it. Might just take a few bends, but it will actually split open. And if you do it this way, there's no chance of you nicking the inner cores. So once you've done that, you can just pull it off. So you can see now that we've got all three cores there, and there's no damage been caused to any of the internal insulation. So we're just going to nip that bit of string off. So now we've got the outer insulation off, we can now just check that we have removed the correct amount of insulation, and that should just about be right. So now what we need to do is cut the actual wires to the correct length. So the neutral needs to bend round there, so we can nip a little bit off the neutral, and the earth's got to go up there, which is roughly the correct length, and the live is way too long. Now you can strip some of the insulation off using a pair of electrician's pliers. What you don't want to do is nick too much insulation off, because you don't want any of the conductors showing really when you've inserted it into the correct pin. Now when you strip the cable, you can undo your terminals ready to accept the wires. And when you push the cable into the plug, it's always a good idea to have the wires already aligned on the correct side. So we're just going to push the cord grip up now and feed the wires through. You can actually feed that live wire straight into the live terminal there. And then just nip that up. Then when the neutral's in position, you can tighten that. and then you can connect up the earth wire. When you've got all the wires in the terminals, it's a good idea to check that they are tight. Now you need to tighten the cord grip, which is done with these 2 screws here. That will now grip the outer insulation, so if anybody pulls on the plug, it shouldn't pull the wires out. Now another important thing to check before you put the cover back on your plug is the fuse rating for the appliance that you're using. In this case, this is for an extension lead, so a 13 amp fuse is correct. If you were to wire this up for a lamp or something, you would need a smaller fuse, perhaps a 5 amp. Check that there's no wires sticking up or anything that can get trapped when you put the cover back on the plug. Turn it over and then just tighten up the screw in the middle, and that's it. That's how to wire a plug.